that you come to. Chaos963, doing it to you in 3D. So delicious that I dig me. Hope you dig you. Here we are, another episode of power. 500,000 kilowatts of power. Uncut power. The bomb. Chaos963, listen, there's my information on this probe. Pick you up a little something, get out of fella. Let me know what's on your mind, on your heart. What's in your inner vision. Interesting times. Couldn't be a better time to be alive, man. We picked the right time to be here, baby. Straighten on this camera a little bit. Did I get it? If not, too bad. Set the stuff out here out the way here. So I hope all y'all getting what you want, what you desire, and what you believed yesterday is coming to fruition on today. What you believed yesterday is coming to pass on today. I'll say that one more time. I hope what you believed for yesterday is coming online today. So here's what's up. If you read the title, you know what it said. Why don't we believe the hieroglyphics? Why don't we believe the hieroglyphics? Why don't we believe a whole bunch of stuff? Why don't we believe in each other, have faith in each other, love one another? That's a whole nother story. Why don't we believe it? That's the question. So what's the answer? I'm not sure the answer, but I'm going to give you some things that maybe will help you believe it. On today, Chaos963, there's information right here on the scroll. Twitter, Chaos963. Facebook, the same. Instant messaging is Chaos9638Z. Get at me there. Chaos963.com. Chaos963 Cash App. Chaos963. Pay your pal. Pay your pal right here. Pay your pal, your buddy. Chaos963. Doing it to you so grooveliciously in 3D. Listen, man, I'm still giving away this candle. You know, I don't know what y'all said. That we're talking today about whoa, heck, man, I'm losing my chair. We're talking today about believing in the hieroglyphics. I'm going to switch this bad boy out here. He's not going to act fair. He's not going to act right. We can't have that. Let's try that. See how that works. All right, huh? Okay. So be careful, kid. Man, I'm losing it here, guys. Not gonna lose it. I'm a winner. I can only win. So I have to figure out the win. There's the win. The win is in. There it is. All righty. Okay, woo! Having survived that move. Got the candles here, man. Om, great symbol, great power, great energy. Om, say it was a vibrational word that started it all off for us. Got all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to try to reach back too much, too far, too fast now, though. Got to get this chair taken care of. Got the Ankh. Life, chaos, that's my symbol right there. And in red too, in red to boot. Anyway, I got comments for you, man. All you gotta do is go to the webpage, contact me, we'll shoot you something over. Make it happen, make it real. I don't know what folks is scared of, man. You got something that is guaranteed to win, get in, win. So, having said all that, here we go. Let's go. Chaos963 to tell you that the hieroglyphics in all over the world, the ones we normally think of when we think of hieroglyphics, we think of the Egyptian writings, and they're everywhere in Egypt on all the tombs, everywhere. And trying to, okay, yeah, let me pour this libation. Yeah, so get this energy flowing up here. Then we're going to talk about it, okay? Okay. Hey. Okay. There it is. Whoop. There it is. While we report libations, energy. It's like going to the go-go, going to get some power, some help. It's like the cavalry, calling in the cavalry. It's all of that and some. It's touring some awesome houses today, man. I don't know if you can see that. Of course you can. But it was on deck. I'll probably try to get up on this camera later on. But I have an opportunity to really be blessed through that. And within that, I'm spread it on. I'm sending a blessing down the line and let some other folks be blessed as well. And I'll give you the information on that. It's some multi-million-dollar homes here, and got action at commission and things like that on the move of them. So if anybody looking to buy a house, come give me a holler. I got some deals that can't be nowhere near beat, man. These cats are just trying to unload some of their inventory. And cat's older, the story. Older cat, he's giving it up, done spent, had all his life. Joints is paid for, there's wiggle room, etc., etc., etc. So, again, I'll go into that further as time goes on. And oh boy, dude had some funky vehicles too, man. Let me see if I can get this camera to zip in on some of this. But I need to really get back to business at hand. To the business at hand. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, anyway, let me get to these libations. So again, as I was saying, the reason we form is so that we can invoke the powers of energy, the ancestors, the ancients, into our life, our spirit, our mission, as support, strength, guidance, protection, and all the above. And as we get that energy moving, then you immediately will feel it working on your behalf. Your ancestors are with you always, man. They make the transition, and they are with you. And into that, they want to be part, want to help, want to be involved with your life. So then, yeah, that chair was kind of weirded out, man. I wasn't quite ready for that. That's a little too much drama for a Thursday evening here. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty then. First, I'm gonna pour a little something to my mom, Julia Myrtle. Ashe. To my stepfather, William Fredericks, Ashe. Dallas Williams, my real dad, Ashe. To my grandmother, Daddy Lenny, Ashe. To my great grandmother, Ava Shani, Ashe. To my Uncle Wayne, Ashe. To my Aunt Olivia, Ashe. To my Aunt Janice, Ashe. To my cousin Thaddeus, Hadis, Ashe. To my cousin Demetrius, Ashe. Let me move these guys up. And I know I've been wanting to get it. And the book is right here too. It's the Encyclopedia of Deities, and it's like thousands, and it's power packed, and it gives you an understanding where they come from, why, how they relate to each other, what deity was this name under this dispensation and whatnot, and as another group embraced them, it became this deity. It gives you all that. And it's just vital information, man, when you're dealing with power like that, man. It's all good. And I truly want to show you some of these. I'm gonna have these pictures lifted right up to my computer. What's today? Thursday. So tomorrow I'm gonna have that done. Matter of fact, as soon as I'm through with it on today, I'm gonna make sure I upload them, and then I'm gonna put some of that stuff from the pages out of that book in here as well, so a guy can see those entities, those powers, those deities that are just waiting to move on our behalf. Papa Legba Ashe, Beleth Ashe, Belam Ashe, Zegan Ashe, Payaman Ashe, Benin Ashe, Belair Ashe, Person Ashe, Asmodee Ashe, Logrado Ashe, Cristo Negro Ashe, Cristo Rey Ashe, Lo Petro Ashe, Oshun Ashe, Izil Ashe, Ezvil Ashe, Shango Ashe, Chango Ashe, Oya Ashe, Adalinso Ashe, Olao Ashe, Yameya Ashe, Labeliani Ashe, Otabala Ashe, Batala Ashe, Ogun Ashe, spirits known and unknown Ashe, ancestors known and unknown Ashe, your ancestors known and unknown Ashe, and Dwayne Powell Ashe, my brother. Hey, having said that, now we can get up in here. So then this morning I was, as usual, I wake up and I'm being tapped on the shoulder by my spirit saying, hey, you need to kind of touch bases on this. I said, okay. And what he said touch bases on is the fact that, we're quick to believe something that we know is a blatant bastardization of a word. We realize the 1611, man, that thing was worked over before it got to us. It started off in a whole different languages, Aramaic and Hebrew, Greek. It's not even our language. By the time it gets over here to us, it's been worked real proper. And then King James took it and did his thing and went through the different councils, and they, some 19 different books are not even in it, but gravitated to that real quick, trying to tap into that power. When we know the stuff that's coming out now, and this is really relatively recent when we talk about some of the scripts, the parchments that came up in 45 of not just the Dead Sea Scrolls, but the Dendra, was it Dendra? No. Anyway, the other set of scrolls that they found, and I mean, it's just accurate, lining up with the writings, the ancient writings, and then the actual ancient writings that we get from the different groups from way back. I was going over so many of that on yesterday. Turn back to that while we're here, but. Like even a lot of the ancients I was just speaking of in my libations, from the Vodun and all that, that's old and powerful in the Greek, and was talking about some of the different Bibles even before this King James was put together. What is the one called? I'm not finna have all these right here in my mind right now. Okay, but the Vulgate, thank you. And so through and going back and through, like I say, the translation, and man, we miss a lot. We miss a lot. But when we have an opportunity to study like the Book of the Dead, et cetera, people, Book of the Dead. Well, no, it ain't about that. You get up and read it, you'll see that it's not. And then the Gnostic writings, which is basically where they got most of the Bible and stuff from. So saying all that to say, we can go back to some more authentic, more original writings and get the source, cut right into the source. I'm not talking about a copy of a copy of a copy, but I'm talking about the original. And so my question is, why are we looking into that? And particularly, why are we looking at the hieroglyphics? Because that stuff is breaking it down. One thing for sure, it doesn't give us the bondage that is so prevalent in the 1611. Because that is a whole different scope, and it also doesn't necessarily. It's not. It doesn't. What's the word? Historicalize these guys. This stuff is writing. This is talking about energies and energies and powers and whatnot. And so, with that understanding, you'll look at it and deal with it totally differently. And more successfully. You know, if you walk into a area and you're trying to dialogue, get an understand with somebody, and you don't both have the same agreement as to the name that the different things that you'll be dealing with are, then you'll be talking about one thing, he'll be talking about something else, but there'll be no communication, because what he's calling A, you're calling a B, and what he's calling a B, you're calling an A. So if you get back to as close to the original as you can get, you have an A being an A and a B being a B, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, when you use that, there's no confusion there. There's tons of confusions when I was dealing with the word, tons of confusion. And I would be reading stuff, and I noticed the difference, huge difference, when I start researching the original Greek and Hebrew. So even there, I was like, man, this is a stranglehold on me in that I can't get to the original text. I can't get to the original writing. And I don't care how you look at it. If you're taking something that is being translated, they don't say and have the verse and the verbiage lost in translation for nothing. Stuff is lost in translation. That's it. You know, there's words that we don't have, that we need to really get an understanding of the original words. You know, I look at love, and, you know, as most of you know, love, particularly in the Bible, there's 4 different kinds of love that they speak on even there. You know, phileo, agape, et cetera, et cetera. And so if it's not the exact translation for that spot, sometimes you'll miss on that. You know, I look at when it talks about gird up your loins and all, man. I had a book that you read with the Bible that gave you an understanding of the culture of the time. And so back then they didn't have pants. You know, they had these robes. And when we talk about girding up your loins, it meant that you stuck the robe in between your legs and sort of tied it off up like a huge diaper. And so if you don't really know that, you'll go through that and won't really have a clear understanding, but you'll just keep reading and moving along and lose a lot in the translation. You know, we talk about, well, we don't talk about, but I will now, when we see that it talks about, when it speaks of God, sometimes it talks about, the translation for God is not, or excuse me, I'll say angel, the translation for angel is not angel, but God. And so when you have that and the breakdown of the original text understanding, then you're not getting it, the unadulterated funk. But when you deal with the writings, man, the translation is just, it's better, and you're getting to a more original word. You're getting to a more original word. That simple. So I challenge you to start looking at some of the old writings, the ancient writings and whatnot. And man, the differences is like night and day, and it'll open up your eyes to some stuff. Like anything, man, you take it and you vet it, if you will, through your spirit. You know, you sift through it with your spirit, and they use the verbiage or the analogy, you know, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Well, okay, but, you know, you have enough spiritual awareness, I hope, to be able to grasp the knowledge in there and apply it to your life, man. And when you start dealing with it, man, when you start like getting back to the ancient writing and studying about alchemy and things like that, you start realizing, one, the power that you give. Oftentimes, particularly with the Bible, and not so much the Bible itself even then, but the interpretation thereof. And you read and it says, you know, the book is not open for interpretation, and the first thing they do is, well, what it's really saying right here is that, you know, I'm like, hold on, you know, let me read that, you know, let me work with it. I shared a while back how when I grew up in a Lutheran church, and it was dry as toast, man. And the part that really got me, we would go in, and the better part of the sermon was in Latin. And so, I mean, I'm sitting there like in the Twilight Zone, man. What is this? I mean, you don't know what he's saying. Okay, anybody help me out with this Latin here? Wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Amber alert on my phone. So now, man, it's incumbent upon us to do all we can to get as much as we can, particularly as much truth as we can, and uncut, uncut truth. Because if you're trying to take the stuff that you've been getting and it's still a watered down version of something, then what you're getting is a watered down version. And there'll come a time when you'll need that power, and it's not gonna be there. I really was sad when I started learning of some real truths, because I realized that there was fights and whatnot that I'd been in that I could have been more victorious, could have dealt with stuff a whole different way. But you can only know what you know, and don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know. But I tell you this here, I kept going at it, and I kept realizing, particularly when I started reading that Bible, I said, man, it doesn't work, It doesn't add up. And I would read stuff, and I'm saying, man, that actually don't make sense, And so I would go to different leaders, spiritual ministers, et cetera, and they would, give me faith you got to have. And I'm like, hold on, man, faith. Okay, I got the faith thing down. That worked. That's what brought me into this, But I need something that stands to reason, If this is a place here that functions on law, be it spiritual law or what have you, then there's a level of organization. There's a level of consistency, a level of solid foundation that has to be there. It just has to be there, And if it's not, something's amiss. And then when I started studying and learning, well, this is a translation of this translation of a translation, I was like, wow, that's not cool. Because when I got the Bible study, it's a book that, talked about the different translations and how I went through this. I was like, oh, wow, because when I first started doing my studies and whatnot, I was under the assumption, because I wasn't told any different, that the word I had was the word, hot off the press, Maybe went through one translation and boom, right to my hand. Well, nothing can be further from the truth, man. It's been dissected and regurgitated and flipped and dipped, and I'm like, man. So I start going back down that path. And as I went down that path, I would learn about these different, the Bible. And one day I should have possibly pulled some of that up today and shared some of that. But the Bible, the King James 1611, came from another set of Bible. And the original Bible of first English translation was I know the Septuagint was in there, and I had to research. I don't want to, put something out there but then you can research it. The King James Version is not the first. It's not the original translation from the original Greek or the Hebrew. It's not. So it went through several translations. When you get a copy of a copy of a copy, by the time you go through that several times, then what you got is some diluted, some interpretation, some man's understanding of it, and it's not the it's not the genuine article no more, Now, in defense, not like it needs to be defended, but in defense of it, the power, the spirit that we're dealing with is going to communicate no matter what. And I've said it many times before, and you could be saying Mary had a little lamb, fleece was white as snow. If you're saying it under that anointing, and if it's resonating in you, and it'll resonate in the person that is supposed to receive it. If it's someone that's supposed to receive that light, they're gonna get it. And it's not all what you say. It's the fact that you say it under an anointing. And when you say it under the anointing, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. We say that what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And it might not be no certain thing. I mean, we come from church, and I would always quick to, QA for, well, what was the service about today? He talked about what scriptures did he come from? Well, he came from. I'm like, wow, man. You're not going to get it if you're not up in there getting it. But I would talk to people, and they would have a revelation. They would have a epiphany of a sort, and then it would be, it'd be the same thing. Water's some beautiful stuff, man. It would be the same thing. They couldn't tell me either what was said or what scriptures it was or nothing, but they had a spiritual experience. So I say that, like I said, in defense of it, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. But there's some folk that need a little more than that. I had a cat, he was asking me, he was saying that we sharing and all, and he said, well, I need a little, how did he word that? Not vetted, but anyway, he was saying I need a little more something to go on, And so, some cats you have to sit down and a bunch of scriptures. And like I said, when back in the day when I was, doing my preaching, I was good to have, 35, 40, 50 scriptures and stuff, depending on what I was speaking on. I would set it out there for you. And then, Cass was able to get it, but I was making a mental attributes to it. I was getting to it through the mind, and I started learning into that I need to be going through a cat's heart, And so I kind of found the balance in there, and I see where some ministers they kind of lean towards that school of thought. They put a little out there, and then they rely on or depend on the spirit or the anointing to kind of pick up the slack. And I can go for that a little bit, but I also knew that he can only anoint what's there. So if you ain't read up, prayed up, studied up, then it really wasn't happening. But into this, I'm saying that it's even easier if we get involved with this. And when I say involved, I mean in our spiritual journey, as we go through this, when we try to get down to the purest form, the lowest common denominator, man, that just is all the better. And when you cut through all the chase, man, and get down to the sure enough juice, then it's on and cracking for real. Because now you're tapped into some main stuff. It's just like anything, and we talk about it being energy to start with, because that's what this thing is. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and God said, and that energy, the vibration, logos, and all, that's what boom made the thing happen. Well, if you're dealing with some energies, and what the heck? If you're dealing with energy, then you need to have as much energy, as pure energy as you can coming through to make it happen. If for example, you're trying you got a light, and you got the light, you want to turn that light on. If you got some bad cables, some weak wires, or some wires that don't necessarily work with that level of energy, you're going to have a weak light. You're going to have a weak light. I recall when I was learning about houses and wiring houses and all that, and I started learning about the different gauges of the wire, And I said, oh, okay, that's cool. I get it now, because you have to have a certain gauge of wire for it to work. And even deeper still, I recall when I was salvaging computers, I got cut into some computers, quantities of computers. I'm talking about a whole room full of computers, right? So got the brilliant idea, well, because I had my youth center, and we'd opened up a computer school, and we needed some computers. So I, started writing some proposals and put the bag out. Hey man, you got some extra computers. And then I started sending them all out, in the bigger places I could find, the places. Well, we hit Raytheon, man, and huge. Raytheon, they government contract, billions of dollars and all that. So I sent them a note. Now, before I'd work with some little people, and some neighborhood folks, and I appreciated everything and still do. The word says, God honors small beginnings. And so I was I was surely honored because my beginning was small, you know. But like I said, worked my way up and got to understanding how it all worked and whatnot. And when I say all worked, how you had to put the bag down, man. And I would go in and for me it wasn't begging, but you know, sometimes I felt like I had to pour my guts out, man. And I was like, oh man, you know, this don't make no sense. But okay, because I knew what I wanted to do, and okay, well, this is what I need to do because my end goal is to get these youngsters involved in these computers and help them understand and just give them a little more, some more ammunition, you know, so they can win in they fight, you know. And so, yeah, I didn't mind pouring my heart out. So, I don't even remember how I got cut into Raytheon, but somebody comes and say, hey, man, I know this cat, blah, blah, blah. And he works over Raytheon. They got these, you know, computers and, you know, so et cetera, et cetera. I said, oh, yeah. He said, yeah, and they're always getting rid of them, you know. And interesting enough, because this was at the time when they start, when they start charging people to get rid of computers, especially big old monitors and stuff like that. And so companies was looking for ways to kind of get off of it before it got too expensive for them. But it hit hard and fast. It was costing cats a lot of money to get rid of their old computer stuff. So at that time, before that really came in, I was taking their old computer stuff and was doing what I did, you know. The spider, man. This dude is crazy. So what is going on? My chair falling, got spiders doing the parachute drop on me. So talking about wiring and conductibility of the wiring to get the brighter light and the lack of strength in the word that is coming down, particularly the King James, how it was diluted because of different translations. Now, stay focused. So when I got this going on, I'm getting all these computers, and I'm learning that in the brain, the CPU chips and all, was solid gold wiring. I'm like, okay, so now I'm really trying, well, I'm going to get these joints. Now, first I'm just going, I'm asking them, trying to get the newest computer they have. And like Raytheon and them, these cats, you know, every couple of years or so, they upgrade their computers. So that was my reason for going at them. And so I go at them, and they got, man, dude, we go out there, and we got a little slip, and we had to go through security, and we come in, and, you know, armed security and all. I'm like, what kind of computer company is this? Because I'm kind of ignorant to the fact. And so we go through, and we go back, and yeah, you go over to the building. It was a campus. It wasn't no like a building. They had a campus. It was huge, you know. And so they say, yeah, you go over to building B and then go B, and then you go to the front door and blah, and show them your pass and give them it, and boom, boom, boom. I said, okay, so I go over there, throw them pass, boom, there. And they take me into a room, man. It had to be 15,000 square feet of room, full of computers. From the floor to the ceiling, blah, blah, blah. And they come up with a little cart, and they gave us some computers, blah, blah, blah. So that was the start of it. But the point I make in all of that is that we were getting, we started salvaging them because some of them we couldn't use, and all, some were a little older than others, you know, etc. And I didn't know and was amazed to find out that those boards and all were gold, man. I said, really? So we breaking down computers now, pulling the CPU and putting them over here. And about that time, well, not even before that, they have places that you go to, recycle places, and they take all your parts, and depending on what you have for them, how far you done broke it down and whatnot, it determined the amount of money you would get. And so if you took the CPUs out and had well, that, you know, was worth a lot of money. And we'd have, like, as we started dealing with the different folks and getting computers coming from all over, we had a nice little computer school and all set up. So we start really doing the salvage thing and breaking them down. and making money, man. It was a beautiful thing. We got a heck of a support for the youth center. But the point in all of it is that for a computer to really, be top shelf, top drawer, work efficiently at peak optimum, they use gold, solid gold. And I thought, wow, okay, that's interesting. Well, for us to work at peak optimum and get the best performance and the best information in and information out and whatnot, we need the most purest, cleanest lines, man. We need a line that for one gets as close to the direct original power and understanding as we can get, to the best original word as we can get, and we need it to be without any restrictions, man. And a lot of this stuff with the different translations and etc. is restriction, man. And some of the stuff you read, and once I really started looking into that and getting an understanding, and this was even, like I say, in the King James day, I started looking at some of these other translations, the American National, the NIV, and man, that stuff, man, by the time you get them things, it's like them Bibles was Mary had a little lamb, his fleece was white as I would open up some of them books like the Living Bible. I got that thing, and you open it up, it's like, I'm like, man, how are you going to get, aside from the fact that the anointing, if it was time for you to get it, you was going to get it, no matter what was being said and done. But for the most part, man, these books were garbage, man. So I'm saying my whole question is, why are we not going all the way back to the original source, as close to the source as we can get? And when you get back there, there's no King James. No, there ain't none of that stuff. But when you start reading the Gnostic stuff man, and even the stuff from different countries, because most of them, when you go back, each country had its own translations and stuff. All of them had their own pantheons and whatnot. When you start reading that stuff and get as close to the original source, and no matter what it is, you trace it all the way back. You're going to Africa. You're going to Africa, pal, for real, for real. So when you realize and understand it, you need to cut back to the source, man. And I'm telling you, when you realize, you look at these walls like here, them ancient writing, them hieroglyphics, man, that's hot off the press, man. That's hot off the press. Went back and got the juice, uncut. I say that a lot of times, I open up, uncut, unadulterated, uncut. And that's what you need. So don't be afraid to, look into some of that stuff. Like I say, the hieroglyphics, the Rig Veda, the Gnostic teachings and all. But as you realize, you learn it and get to understand, oh, this was that. And well, where did that come from? Oh, that's from here? Oh, they got this? Oh, let me go back to here then, And I promise you, you take it all the way back, no matter what you're reading, you're going to end up in Africa. You end up in Africa. You trace man all the way back. You get man, and wherever you find him out on the planet, you trace him all the way back, you're going to end up in Africa. You take science and you trace it all the way back, you're going to end up in Africa. You take music, Africa. You take the medical side, Africa. I promise you, man, it's all going back there. But, excuse me. That's kind of what I want to share today, man. Why are we not going back and getting it hot off the press? And I encourage you to do that. And I guess, I should have shared some books, because there's a bunch of good books, man, that do that. They start right there, right there at the point of entry. You know what I'm saying? They start right there. Okay? Right here. Ain't nothing here that was before this. Yeah, well, give me some of that. Matter of fact, give me two of those. Give me two of those, because that's what's up. Give me that unadulterated. Give me some of that uncut. Give me that uncut. Pardon me, boy. It's hot and cold and all the rest of that out the shower. And it just be affecting me. I got to kind of be on top of that. Thank you for listening. Look to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. And we're going to do it again. We're going to keep on till we're keeping it on and make it do what it do. I'm Chaos963. I'm doing it to you in 3D. And